And welcome to another episode of More Than Dice. I'm Gonzo.
I'm John.
I'm Kathy.
Welcome to episode 168, our Mechwarrior
Yeah.
episode. We're going to be talking about painting non-organic models and talking about all the cool things that go along with that. On top of that, we have now a new challenge. The Gonzo challenge has been suspended since you did get it. We are now doing a new challenge where it is the puppet challenge. If you reach 150,000 points before 30 days, we will turn the stream into a puppet show, and we will be puppets for the entire episode. Caveat to that is if we have a special guest on, we will not do it on that episode. So just so everybody kind of knows. Other than that, let's make sure we get through all of our business real quick. We want to thank Muson Minis for sponsoring the podcast. Don't forget that if you buy anything from them, make sure you use the word More Than Dice, all one word, and you get 10% off of anything you buy there. We also want to thank them for hosting all of our files and helping us push it out to the masses. We also want to thank Muse on Minis. Lynn is amazing. She has actually started storing some of our products to sell so we can get some money from that. Help make the podcast a little bit
Metalhead
better.
minis.
Did I say what I say?
Muson minis.
Muse on Minis. Metalhead Minis, excuse me.
Different.
Yeah, which is different. Metalhead Minis. I probably saw that up in the corner of my eye and then said it subliminally. And you also can check out her stream also, because she does stream early in the morning. We are a creature creator, so you will see us paint some of those models every so often. And I heard a rumor that somebody wants us to have them on air and come and visit us and do a podcast. And Tectonic Crest Studios. Don't forget, Dan is now Twitch streaming, showing his products off and painting terrain. So don't forget to go check him out. We will do some giveaways from him eventually. Captain Mizzy does want to thank everybody who pushed through the Gonzo challenge and made it happen where I'm right side up for this podcast. So, in other news, we also want to say next week's podcast will be our all chibi episode. We are going to have Yeji Kim from one half of Snicker Snack Studios. She'll be on talking about all stuff chibi. I'll be painting a chibi model. Cassie will be painting a chibi model. And we'll get to have all that cool stuff going on.
Will John be painting a chibi model?
I think John's going to take the night off.
Apparently, I'm taking that night off.
No, you can't make John take the night off.
I'm not making John do anything.
Paint a chibi model.
I don't even own a chibi model. I mean, technically, I own a chibi model. It's still curing over the windowsill, I think.
Yeah.
I'll have to see if it's done.
B agrees. John has to paint a chibi.
So we'll be doing all chibi, all four of us on that episode, which is fine. Other than that, John, what are you drinking tonight? I'm curious what awesome concoction you have made up for this episode to drink all episode.
Well, I went down to get a drink, so I went downstairs and I stabbed Bania, and I'm going to drink his blood. Water.
For everybody to know, John's challenge did get completed in the pre-ramble, and so John has to drink water the entire episode. Kathy, what are you drinking today?
I am drinking tea.
Just tea?
It is ginger tea.
I am actually
Solidarity, John.
I'm
Appreciate
drinking water also, not for John, just because I am not feeling very good. Allergies are kicking my butt right now, so I just got to make sure I keep hydrated. So I'll hydrate with you, John. How about that?
Oh, hey, Marshall. How's it going?
So,
Hey, El Marshall says Mania blood is both old and bitter.
do we have any shout-outs this week?
I'm sure there were, but I wasn't able to keep track of them. I was kind of busy.
I do know that Olympias Dukakis passed away. She passed away this week. She was like 80-something, 89, I think, or so, whatever. Famous actress. did a lot of roles.
Hmm.
They said that she'd been sick quite a bit lately, so they didn't say what she passed of, but she had been sick quite a bit. Um, Actually, they don't have an episode tonight, Kathy.
They don't?
We got a lot of weird things going on with Skype today. No, so we're gonna get all Harlan's heroes watching us tonight. Watch
Maybe.
Wow.
all of them that can. So we'll have to figure out where we're gonna raid later. Guys, we really appreciate you coming in and hanging out and watching and listening, whether it's live, after stream, because we noticed that a lot of people are starting to watch our streams after we stream, which is really cool.
Or listen to them on one of the many platforms.
Yes, listening to on some of the many platforms, which I just put in for a couple of more, by the way. We got
Because
asked
why
to be
not?
part of them. Yeah, we got asked to be part of a couple of other podcast programs, and so I put us all in there.
Hey.
So we got plenty of ways that you can listen to us on all our platforms, and we did do a little update to our YouTube channel. Thanks to Captain Mizzy, she started making playlists for us, and so it's
Oh, cool. Thank you, Captain Mizzy.
it is actually a little bit more organized. So, like all of John's videos or Mechwarriors in one, all the different RPGs are in their own type thing. So, we've got a little bit of organization in that. So, guys, we really appreciate it. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. Thanks for doing the channel points. We actually look forward, and it's actually pretty fun to see y'all do those things.
I mean, look forward to all but one.
Yeah, the turning gonzos. Camera right side up is the worst one to put on there.
Best.
So, to all y'all,
Okay, second best. Kathy reading's better.
Kathy's reading is the best.
Aw. Thanks.
Be safe out there, guys. Wear your mask. Be careful. Look out for each other. Cheers.
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 Oh, that's damn. Is that hitting the right spot, John? I love you too. Oh man, it is like really hot in my room because I got like 3 printers and a computer going and lights like crazy. Okay, so before we get over and look at this, we're going to be talking about Mechwarrior Online a little bit from John because he's going to help us talk about some of these miniatures that we're painting. I'm painting a little bit different than Kathy's painting. Or did you give her the clay? No, you gave her the clay one, so it's actually the same ones, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
The exact same model.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm painting the same ones that she's painting. You didn't go with a theme on yours, did you?
A
Wait,
theme?
The
The
theme
theme?
is oil painted.
But so, yeah,
Everything I am oil painting right now is a big experiment.
Hi, White Tiger.
Hello, White Tiger. So each one of my mechs is a different experiment in doing the oil paint pre-glaze. So, yeah, there is no theme. Each one of them is a different color. It's all like jewel tone Crayolas or something. It's the Mad Cat though is the one that looks most like the cover of the box, like the box art.
yeah,
And I'm looking forward to painting that with the the red stripes and stuff that you see on the one on the box. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Well, the Timberwolves become the iconic mech of BattleTech, unfortunately.
Well, they're really, I don't know. There's something really distinctive about them.
It is the most distinctive, and I jokingly say unfortunately because I'm an Air Sphere guy, not a Filthy Clanner, but but yeah, because all the old box sets used what we call the unseen mechs, which are all mechs they borrowed from anime sources. Technically, they got the rights, but the rights were so up in America that they technically didn't really have the correct rights. How about that?
This is John not drinking alcohol.
Yes, see, look. No, they didn't have the correct rights. I was trying not to say rights because that sounds wrong. Sticking with that. So it is good that they actually have.
You may be right for all I know.
Yeah, you may be wrong. You may be right. I may be crazy, but just might be a lunatic you're looking for. Hi, White Tiger. Yeah, I play some Mechwarrior Online poorly, mediocrely. Whatever you want to say, but I enjoy it.
All right, so let's
But
go
yeah,
ahead and.
so it is cool that they have like an actual spokes mech that is their own design. That's super cool. Go ahead.
So I'm going to switch over. I got to fix my camera because it decided to reset itself once we change stuff. So give me a
course.
second. I'm going to
Yours are all the same color.
because I am going with a clan of sorts. Because I think once I'm done painting them up, I'm probably gonna.
It's a clan. You don't say of sorts. It's definitely a clan.
It is
it's
definitely
a terrible
a clan.
clan, but it's a clan.
Why terrible?
Jade Falcons they're bastards.
They're assholes.
If you were to have a bad guy of the BattleTech universe in the clans, it's the fucking Jade Falcons. They're the worst. I mean, Smoke Jaguar was kind of bad. These guys are worse. There was a series of books on them, and I still don't care about them.
Jade Falcon.
Give me a second. I'm going to try to get this looking a little bit better because these are actually a bright green, not an army green.
The Gone Bears? What's that?
The Ghost Bears actually didn't get their butts whooped like that. Not like the Smoked Jaguars.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
So,
I know nothing about the fluff of BattleTech.
Well, luckily,
I'm
John is here to help you.
Yes, I'm interested in hearing what you have to tell me about these clans and everything.
I will preamble with I am just scratching the surface on the history. If you really want good history, there is a YouTube channel called the Black Pants Legion, and they text talks BattleTech. And in particular, there is one on the Amara Civil War, and then he does Elementals to Exodus, which sort of explains the major history of BattleTech to sort of the point where I stopped paying attention years ago. It kept on going past that, and it's fine, but that's there. So the whole idea is of course the far future. When we meet up, so technically the first book was set in the 3025, but the
because there was actually versions
for that.
There was at one point versions of BattleTech. It was like 30 whatever and like 20 something
well,
whatever.
The technical readouts had a year next to them for what year it was, because it was the 80s/90s, and having splat books and source books that were huge on fluff and stuff and not done efficiently for presenting information. They were just really cool because you'd open the book and it's sideways, technical manual, and you've got this whole background and fiction on the mech, and then the other page is just the mech stats of the picture. It was great. That's not super efficient way of doing things nowadays, though actually with PDFs it's great. It works fine. But for books, it's not as good because you got a lot of pages. So you'd have the 3025 guide, which was the initial one, which had all the basic mechs from the original BattleTech. And then it would go on. 3026 was vehicles and stuff. And then 3050 was the first big jump, and that's the Clan Invasion, which they've just redone since there's another new holder of it. And with some updated rules and stuff for the game. But the whole thing of BattleTech starts, with the advent of the Star League, and I don't have a date for that. I'm pretty sure Tex does. And it was basically, it was the UN of sorts of the whole universe, or the known universe, the inner sphere as they call it. And there are various different great houses, but there was the Star League, in charge of them, and they were keeping things real, keeping them from murdering each other too much. And that's sort of where battle mechs come in, is that they started imposing rules on warfare after someone, pretty sure it was a Capellan, nuked the fuck out of a planet to win. They're like, this is no good. You kill too many civilians. Bad Capellan. I'm pretty sure it was a Capellan. It could have been a Cretan. I don't know. In any case, um, so they imposed the rules of warfare, and so basically it became war became a game, so to speak. You had rules and everything, so you couldn't just bomb something from orbit. Well, in that, suddenly a company starts working on the first battle mech, the Mackie, and it comes out to, it just crushes tanks and all. Is it the best way to fight? Probably not, but the pilots who were in it and all, and the technology was so good, they just crushed some damn tanks, and the tank division was just a lance of mechs, and then it was off. Everyone was making battle mechs. This is how the warfare is done now. And he's got a good video on that too. The Mackey's actually a good shorter video, but I suggest the Ameris Civil War, which is a long one, and two, because it is a heck of a thing. So, onto that, it keeps proliferating. You end up with six great houses, technically. Because you have House Cameron, which is the Star League. They actually sort of control the Star League. They're the ones who keep... I haven't seen Critical Rocket's videos, White Tiger, so I can't speak to their quality. I've heard they're good. You can look them up. I mean, honestly, you can look up plenty of Battletech stuff online if you want. I just go with the ones that I've personally seen because I don't want to, send somewhere I'm not sure about. Laura Battletech. So end up with the five houses. House Cameron, who's basically in charge of Star League. And then House Kurita, which are sort of the, Asian, Japanese flavored. You have House Steiner, which is much more Germanic sort of influence. Then you have House Merrick, the Free Worlds League, which nominally is the kind of American one, but we generally don't. I mean, it's weird. There's not enough on them in the core books to really get a feel for them. They're always sort of like the outsiders type of thing. House Lao, the Compelling Federation, who are sort of the non-Japanese, Asian, and that sort of area, and generally they're bastards. Generally. And then you have House Davion, which is sort of the other half of Europe and all. The rest of Europe, England sort of feeling to them. They're really the nominal, and I say nominal because they're still bastards necessarily, the nominal good guys when you pick up the fluff in the books. House Steiner and House Davion are generally portrayed as the good guys. Merrick is more sort of neutral. Lao is sort of the bumbling bad guys, and Kurita is the actual real bad guys. Doesn't end up being the way. So in any case, you have this whole big political structure, and there's these periphery states that are outside the main inner sphere that are smaller and don't have a lot of power, and have sort of gotten their asses whooped in submission once or twice for trying to go and do their own thing. And the Lord of the Star League dies, and his son is made, head of the Star League. And one of the guys from one of the periphery states, Stefan Amaris, actually sort of befriends him and leads him on, and sort of helping him along. And he starts doing stupid shit at his behest, trying to really limit what the houses can do, trying to get more power. And then eventually, he totally trusts Stefan Amaris, and Amaris betrays him, kills him. Basically, he had done all this stuff. He'd actually had the Star League Defense Force sent away. General Kerensky took his whole force to go pacify, periphery states that were rebelling. So the whole bulk of the Star League Defense Force is away, and Stefan Amaris starts the coup and takes over, killing him, killing a bunch of people. There's a great story in there of the Black Watch, which were the personal guard of the House Cameron, and how just a company of them held like a regiment at bay. And that's a company is 12 mechs. A regiment is 9 companies. So outnumbered 9-1. And to finally kill the last of the Black Watch, they used like strategic nuclear weapons on just a company of battle mechs, which is crazy. It's a whole good story in there. So he takes over, and General Kerensky's stuck out in the periphery, and needs to come back and retake the world. So he does what anyone does. He finishes whooping the ass of the Periphery, and then forms his army and slowly fights his way back to Terra, Earth, to confront the remains of Aramis' army, and does. And they take him prisoner. You know, he surrenders at a point. Then they find that the whole House Cameron was dead. So then they kill Stefan Aramis, and they realize everything's going to go to hell. There's no Star League. There's no rightful heir. He knows the houses are going to fight over power because that's what they do. Marshall, thanks for the follow.
Oh, thanks, Marshall.
So at that point, he decides he takes the majority of his troops and just leaves. Just straight gone. They take up all their equipment and everything. They leave a handful of people in charge, including Jerome Blake, who's in charge of Comstar, who's in charge of all the hyperpulse communications, which is their long-range communication. What's that?
Do you want
for a
ants?
moment so
Because
that I can
that's
read
how
this
you get
awesome
ants.
thing that L. Marshall just posted? I defend the Star League against Zur and the Kodan Armada.
I'm just thinking that the whole time John tells me that. I'm like, I don't want to interrupt him because he's going really good. And I'm just like,
I'm sorry, I had to.
No,
I
it's all
love
good.
That movie.
Marshall and I are big fans of Last Starfighter.
yeah, it's just
When that
every time I
video
hear
came out, I said, "Hey, have you seen this?" He's like, "I've already watched it twice with the kid." You know, The Last Starfighter now.
Okay.
So he leaves part of it, the telecommunications, basically, in charge with Jerome Blake, who ends up forming Comstar, who keep Terra and become sort of a neutral party you can't fuck with because they control communication between worlds. Most of the rest of his troops, I believe, like 80 or 90% of them follow him, and they just leave. They leave the inner sphere. Of course, at that point, the great houses start fighting amongst each other. They sort of sort it out, end up with borders, and go into what they call the succession wars, where basically they just beat each other up trying to become the power. They all want to be the next Star Lord, the elite Lord of the Star League, and they fight pretty constantly. I mean, honestly, at the point we enter the Battletech universe in the first book that's written out, technically the second book is the better entry. Actually, I think technically it's even technically the second book, which is the Grey Death Legion book. We are past the third succession war, and the fourth has not yet started, which actually starts in a period of the books. So they've been kicking each other's asses for years. I think 2750-ish is about when the Star League falters and dies, and then we pick back up in 3025. So it's been a couple hundred years. So they're fighting each other, kicking each other's teeth in, have some fights. This is where the books pick up. It's the sort of beginning portion of the fiction is the Succession War era. In reality, more around the fourth Succession War area, where you get the names that old school Battletech players know, like the Hans Davion of House Davion, Katrina Steiner, Takashi and Theodore Kurita, Maximilian Lau, all the big names that we start, and like the Wolf's Dragoons and all the big mercenary companies and units that you hear about are from that beginning. So fast forward to 3050, and the books have picked back up with the next generation, the sons and daughters of most of the characters from the original couple books. Really, it wasn't as many as I thought. There's really only about maybe a dozen books that are pre-clan invasion. Spoiler. So it picks up 3050, and the clans invade, and they're just rolling everyone. They've got better technology, better pilots, and they're just kicking everyone's ass. And no one knows who they are. Eventually, it's revealed that they are, of course, the descendants of General Kerensky and his Starlight Defense Force, who have, in order to preserve their own way of life, come up with a whole new sort of, etiquette for fighting. They're very much,
like a chivalry?
Sort of, but they have an honor. They bid how many forces they need to take whatever the enemy is. So they are trying not to use too many forces, because apparently when they got out to the to wherever they settled, they just started kicking the shit out of each other again, as humans are wont to do after Kerensky died. So this was their defense. They we need to make these rules so that we don't just murder each other. And they have a whole big caste society with, in some cases, the warrior caste being higher, some cases not, but you don't learn a lot of that till way later. But they come in, and you eventually learn that their goal is to retake Terra and basically take over the Inner Sphere because their way is best.
Everybody always thinks their way is best.
Yes. Well, luckily, standing in the way of them, the great houses actually get their asses whooped, but then start working together, which is the scariest thing when, age-old enemies work together. So House Davion and House Karita have been long-standing enemies. They have a long border. They fight and kick the crap at each other. In fact, one of the coordinator of the Draconis Combine, House Karita's, their leader, his cousin killed Hans Davion's father, or older brother, I think it is actually. Thus putting him in charge of the Federated Commonwealth, or in that case, yeah, that's complicated. I'll not go into that right now. So they don't like each other at all. But he sends troops to help defend their capital from the clans as part of this. So they start working together, start giving the clans a couple defeats. And then Comstar, who originally, having no idea what the clans are after, was working with the clans like, oh yeah, we'll help manage the worlds after you leave. And they're all trying to get more power to indoctrinate people into their way because they become sort of quasi-religious. They treat the technology like it's some religious thing. It's not really, obviously, but they treat it like that. Hey, Big Knight.
Hello, Big Knight.
And so they're doing that, and then they suddenly realize, because they literally have their the head of their armies, Anastasius Vogt, go and talk with the clans. He's dealing with them, meeting with them, and they find out that the clans are going after Terra to take over, and that's where Comstar is headed. So they're not going to have that. So they hatch this big plan to fight on a proxy world for Terra, about a world called Tukiat. And the Comstar takes all the armies that the Great Houses didn't know they had. They had them in hiding. A couple people knew because they sort of found out in various things. That's part of the plot. They set it up. A lot of the stuff set up early in some of the books and it doesn't bear fruit for, when they were coming out for years. But so they find out, they set up that proxy battle, and basically Comstar kicks the crap out of the clans. I mean, it's brutal. Both sides get ravaged, but literally they fight and make the clans fight a war they're not used to fighting and basically beat them. Active Big Night, I think that's an adder. So that's sort of where mine ends up. So there ends up being a peace treaty with a line at Tukiad. You can't go any further than this for 15 or 20 years, something like that. I forget the exact time. And then it goes on for that. And then after that, there's the after clan invasion stuff where they start fighting again after the peace treaty. And there's a ton of stuff that happens after that I'm not really familiar with. Because I haven't gotten that far in my reread of the books. No, the Puma and the Cougar are not, but the Puma and the Adder are technically the same mech. One is the clan name and one is the Inner Sphere name. The Puma is the Inner Sphere name. I always jokingly call it by the opposite of whatever someone's calling it because I'm an ass. So that's just an overview. They're literally, I would say, the videos on just the Stefan Amara Civil War is probably, the one texted is 5 hours long. It's in 2 videos, something like that, 3 to 5 hours. I mean, Tex does holy shit his homework. It's crazy. But also, there's plenty of books on it. There's a wiki, sarna.net, sarna.net, where you can get some of this. And obviously, the best way to consume this, though, is through the novels. You don't have to read them all. There's a couple earlier ones not as good. In fact, the first book is called The Sword and the Dagger, and I was told by the man in charge of Battletech lore at that point, not that was Michael Stackpole, who wrote a lot of the books. He was sort of in charge of all of the Battletech sort of fiction at one point. Like he's still involved, but he's not in charge of it anymore. They got the people doing that. But they've gone through. There's two more. There's the Jihad, which is I think clan the Comstar fracturing and having two guys fight it out with the various great houses, and then there's the Dark Ages, which is a way future events that I haven't caught up on yet. To be honest, the Dark Ages left a bad taste in a lot of BattleTech players' mouth because that's when the clicks came out, and we were not happy with that.
I remember those coming out. Because it was like, what's
Yeah.
Dark Ages?
Honestly, I was working at a distributor before that for Mage Knight, and I was not a fan, so I was like predisposed not to like them.
So
that's
okay.
a basic overview. They've narrowed it down to a handful of eras, like a lot of things do now with fiction. There's the Star League era, there's the Succession War era, there's the Clan Invasion era, there's the Jihad era, and then there's the Dark Age era. As far as putting stuff out, they sort of started. They have the basic box set. There's two basic boxes. There's a starter box that comes with two mechs. They're, as a matter of fact, these two mechs, just not painted. A Griffin and a Wolverine. And it's a really good introduction to the rules and such. Do you suggest it? It's also only $20. Oh yeah, Civil War era. Man, you're right. I forgot Civil War era. That's complicated, but I was forgetting that. So basically, at a point during right before the Fourth Succession War, Hans Davion marries Melissa Steiner, and their two realms, which are two of the biggest realms, merge, and they become the Federated Commonwealth rather than the Federated Sons and the Lyran Commonwealth. And the Civil War is because one of their daughters is a bitch and wants power and basically engineers a lot of bullshit, and I mean this, to forge a wedge between the two realms again, and then they split again to the Lyran Alliance and the Federated Sons. If I remember correctly, she does get her just desserts, but I didn't read that far. I sort of that was all getting planted in the last books I read, which was sort of when basically the Interferer was going to the clan homeworlds to basically say, hey, fucking stop. We know where you live. It's good fiction. It feels very... People liken it to Game of Thrones. It is basically Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones. Because the Throne of Star League is sort of what they're all fighting over, but it's sort of like sci-fi Game of Thrones. And I hate using it like that because, I mean, it was technically first, just never hit the popularity of it.
Yeah.
But it's good. And actually, that is a good story. I mean, the only problem with it is the problem, and this is going to be an aside in a mini John rant, is the only problem I have with every fiction that takes things to the future. They can't just let anyone have a fucking happy ending.
No, of course not.
And that's a problem. You gotta let someone have a happy ending. That's why I stopped reading Dragonlance novels. That's why at a point you start going, for fuck's sake, stop just fucking everyone. Someone can have a fucking happy ending, right? No, okay.
Not everyone needs the horrifying drama that gives them flaws and scars to make them more interesting.
Oh my god, Cookie, did you just say that to me? You've hurt me. You've wounded me. Dragonlance is not boring. Dragonlance is awesome.
Dragonlance is awesome. I'm actually rereading all the Chronicles right now.
So Darkwalker on Moonshade was interesting. It never grabbed me the same way Dragonlance did, but to be fair, I read Dragonlance first. But I have read Darkwalker on Moonshade. The second book was pretty good. The third book was not as good. It felt weird. Nothing wrong with Dark Sun. I just don't feel like it was a better role-playing setting than it was books. Any case, so most of the BattleTech gaming takes place in, generally in the clan invasion uh, era. Um, Mostly right now, that's because that's as far as they've gotten. They haven't done updates on the other rules yet.
Are you
But
filing mold lines, Gonzo?
No, I was decided to get the um, put the gravel on my elementals, and of course the glue got on some of the model,
Oh yeah,
so I'm kind of
yeah.
picking off some of the glue rock type stuff. I was just kind of taking a break from painting. I was like, ooh, because I didn't
Okay.
originally when I did this, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna do the mechs for right now, and then of course we've all started getting into it, and you started painting, and I started painting. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna do the elementals also, because I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint all this up and just like sell it away to somebody, because I'm gonna be playing Inner Sphere, or let someone borrow it or whatever. I don't know, but
it's always good to have an op for the for someone to play with.
yeah. So I heard you were talking about the different models. Were y'all talking about this one right here?
Um,
The one I was
the
painting?
one you're paint,
Yeah.
the adder slash puma. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so Kathy, this is what I did on mine. I know you did different because you're doing oil. Ooh, kind of to fill it in. So the way I painted mine is, of course, I primed it black, and then this one I put it on with a brush, but the other four I airbrushed the green from Pro Acryl. Waited
So
that for
that
that
must
to dry.
have taken that must have taken way less time with the airbrush than
Oh,
your that one you brushed on.
yeah, the one I brushed on, it took like, 20, 30 minutes or whatever. And I airbrushed it, it was all done in minutes. So it was no big deal. And then after I airbrushed it, and after it dried, I no oil washed it. And I just went and just slathered it all over. Didn't care.
Mhm.
Because if it made it dark, cool, it just adds some character to it. Um, and then after it was dry, I dry brushed it with a little bit of green, just to kind of get some of the white, the dark out of it. And then I dry brushed it yellow using the Procray yellow, because their yellow is actually really good and really bright. And then after I dry brushed it with yellow, I dry brushed it with a light green, so it gets back a little bit. So it's not like a bright yellow highlight; it's just a bright green highlight. I don't know if you can tell or whatever.
You know what I you know what I find amusing is the one that I did green looks just like your green ones.
Oh yeah, I noticed that too because I was looking at your stuff because you posted pictures of it, and I was like,
And
oh,
I even on Thursday did a little bit of I mixed a little yellow with green to do kind of a pseudo dry brush. Like you can't really do a dry brush with
mm-hmm,
oils, but it's really, a similar idea with the side of a flat brush. Anyways, yeah, it looks pretty much the same as yours, but I did one, two, three, four. I did all five of the mechs.
mm-hmm.
Uh and the elementals I did later. I did all five of the mechs in one my Tuesday stream.
Well, what's interesting is we were talking about it, and you were talking about how I should use my panel lining on the model. And so I was working with it. And I was testing it out. I tested it out on this one, um, and I would put it, but it would run really quickly all over the place. That didn't stick to the crevices really well. I don't know if you can tell, but if you look at the two legs, if you look like right here next to the yellow, and then right here next to the yellow, this one had the panel lining inside of it. And what it is all I did was touch like right in here, and it drained all the way down here. And it did give some cool shading on it because I actually had to wipe it off because it was just too much. But over on this leg, it didn't get that, that dark highlight or dark, shade right next to the yellow. But on this leg, it did.
I
Hmm.
don't think the detail is deep enough for the panel lining to work right.
Um, it's not, but you have to be very, very careful with it if you're going to use it. Like I did it
Uh,
in like these big holes, like this hole right here where my finger's at, or like right here, it was okay, but you had to wipe off a ton of excess off of the little brush on it.
My suggestion is to get your contrast black, which I know you all have because it's fucking awesome,
Yeah.
and just use that, and then go back over the parts where it slops a little bit with your highest, with your green over it, and it'll be fine. That's what I use for a lot of mine nowadays. It's a lot of me using that contrast black everywhere.
I did instead of using the contrast black, I just did no oil and was just kind of using it like the panel lining and just kind of dipping it in there and hitting it
I
so it
like
goes
that,
there.
but it doesn't get you the same effect. You can actually use the contrast black. I think it's called Black Templar.
Yeah, it's the Black Templar one. I haven't tried the Black Templar. Maybe I'll try it on one of the other ones. But
Yeah,
that's what I
I
did.
think
That's what I
it'll
did for this one. The panel lining was here, and it just drained all over the model and didn't stick inside, that capillary action that Kathy's always talking about. So it didn't go in there and stay in
Did
there.
you try it on the one you hand brushed? I'm just curious if
This
maybe.
is the one I hand brushed.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, it didn't stay in the lines very well.
Did you try it on one that you use the airbrush on? Maybe the paint's a little bit too thick there. Maybe it's a little less thick on that.
Hold on, let's try it out. Give me a second. This is the one I airbrushed.
Mark just says fix it with a micron pen.
Yeah, I don't have any micron pens, so I just have to do with what I got. So hold on, let me wipe some of this off. Okay, so what jack is this, by the way?
It's not a
No,
jack
what
at all. It's a
Mechwarrior is it? What
that's an Omni mech, sir.
what mech is this?
And an important note is the battle mech is a mech that is fixed in its profile, and an Omni mech, which this is, has pods you can take off and put on to change its outlook. It's very much a clan thing initially, is one of the big advantages they had. In any case, that is a executioner, or if you're an inner sphere guy like me, it's a gladiator. I actually really like that shoulder pad on it. You could do some stuff with that shoulder pad.
I feel like there's a Hello Kitty in my future.
Well, I want to try to
Hello
do.
Kitty, yeah. Oh,
I kind of want to put them and make do the Jade Falcon on it.
The Hello Kitty clan, the most devastating of every clan.
It is, but it's not.
Kindness and autocannons, but mostly kindness.
No, mostly autocannons.
Be
Let's be honest.
Well, Cookie, all the mechs that they released, they're getting the stores now, so you're going to start being able to get some of those packs they released. I know Gonzo picked up some of the ones that I'd gotten in the Kickstarter, which I'll just got them all over here now. So, Legionnaires, no one should ever paint anything like Ninja John's Fafnir. Ever. No.
Why?
No.
What does his Fafnir look like?
Nightmare fuel. It is nightmare fuel.
You say that.
It defies description. I actually,
John
I
Ninja.
think my mind has mostly blocked it out. And when he feels the Fafnir, I try to feel something faster than that, so I don't have to see it. Because if I am in front of him, I do not have to see it. Oh, God damn it, Timberwolf, get out of there. That's inner sphere.
Now I'm curious. I'm very curious now. I need to know.
Well, I mean, if he posts a picture, if he can get a picture of it in...
Post a picture, John Ninja. If you have a link that you can show us of what it looks like, feel free to post that in the chat.
Yep.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Okay, there's all my inner sphere dudes. But yeah, that one, I didn't actually look that carefully. That shoulder pad. The other one, not so much. The other one's just rounded. It's okay.
Yeah, there's not much to that.
That big one, legit. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm actually going to see if I can paint the actual Jade Falcon.
I would, but I have standards.
Care not.
So here's the funny thing: the Jade Falcon is they were set up as the the bad guy clan. You never really got much. They're still a clan. They still have their honor. And in fact, the good portion of the book that deals with the Jade Falcons and one of the main characters' interactions with them, they actually come off as very honorable. Technically better than the Snoke Jaguars do. But they're sort of end up being the main bad guy clan because, they have a really cool, I'll be honest, they have a cool paint scheme, they have a cool icon. So they sort of ended up that way. The other main clans that came in originally were the Smoke Jaguars, who were a bit of assholes. They got upset when basically they broke someone out of prisons. They razed the city after they broke the guy out of prison, which is funny because it was the prince of the Draconis Combine, and they just sort of didn't know we had him. But in any case, and then the Ghost Bears, who you don't hear much about, they're sort of they're just a clan, but they're they follow the rules. And then there's the Wolf Clan, who is sort of the protagonist clan. They're the ones you get the most with because one of the main, ostensibly of the series, one of the main characters gets to see them from that point of view. He gets captured by them and all. So it is, most people identify with the Wolf Clan because they were presented in a positive light. Oh, you need a Timberwolf for every piece of different color? That'd be cool. You can do that. I think the model actually lends itself to that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this, don't feel like you have to paint any mech in any color, even if you, whatever faction
I certainly don't.
Yeah. I literally, to get mine, I literally stole Space Marine paint schemes and put them on battle mechs, and they work pretty well.
I actually going to take my Inner Sphere, and I think I'm going to do a camo scheme with them.
Cyclone Raider has a question.
All right, what you got?
I mean Cylon Raider, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Cylon Raider. Cylon Raider 666.
That in the that royal blue color on the black background is hard to see.
Oh. Yeah.
No question.
I don't think let me a second, I'm not.
What is Puiter?
I'm not grokking that, yeah.
Oh, pewter? Are they pewter?
No, they're plastic.
No, they're plastic. They're plastic.
They're plastic.
Yep. No worries, apologies. Just didn't catch that. Yeah, they're plastic models. Surprisingly, pewter is actually really expensive to work with nowadays, apparently. They're good plastic models. They're good quality.
Yeah.
They're good detail.
They really are. You can see the fantastic detail. There's actually more detail on these than there were on the metal ones. So I'm told by people I know who have painted the metal ones and love them.
True. Very true.
So, yeah.
Yeah, not so much. I mean, most companies are moving away from it just because it's hard. Everyone's going to the same handful of printers in China to make stuff. So.
Which is
they're
sad.
almost like board game pieces because they are one piece and all, but honestly, they're some of the higher quality ones. I would go so far as to say they're at least equal to what Steamforge puts out for their stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
Having a couple of Steamforge models from their Resident Evil game sitting in front of me that I painted, I will definitely agree to that.
Oh, airbrush? Yeah, I didn't use an airbrush. I used a regular brush, and I painted a 20-ton mech called the Stinger up like a speed bump. That's pretty much what happened to it in games. It was a speed bump to something bigger. That actually, Penalty is not seems to be working better on that model.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Play around with it.
It might have been just. Oh yeah, a lot of that happens a lot to Songwriter. Kids tend to stop a lot of collecting potentially. They take a lot of time, a lot of effort. A lot of people leave for a bit, then come back after their kids are old enough to, I don't want to say fend for themselves, but fend for themselves. Hmm. But I like how that's turned out with just the black lining there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely giving it good definition. I'm just kind of like being really careful with it so it doesn't, you know, 100% like too much and let it run all over the place.
Yeah. Panel line wash is definitely not something you splash on like contrast paint or Citadel wash.
Put that shit on everything. No, I mean, it's a good point. Actually, it's a good point with washes, too. With having painting a lot of stuff where I'm touching up or doing whatever, you get a lot more effect out of your washes sometimes if you just put them in the recesses. And I was doing Wolverine, I just tried to concentrate the sepia wash in the deeper areas, the muscle definition and all that. I feel like he came out a lot better because of that.
That is 100% correct. Wash doesn't mean bathe it.
Oh, dang it.
It's a much more controlled thing. And just as John says, you just concentrate it in the recesses because that's where you want it to end up anyways.
Marshall says, if I had these models, I'd paint them in the Care Bear styles to take on the Hello Kitty clan. Squints and
Honestly,
Care Bear.
L. Marshall, if you had seen what mine look like right now, they kind of do look like Care Bear colors.
Oh, so Kathy, this is a throwdown that could happen because L. Marshall goes to Adepticon pretty much every
I too go to Adepticon.
I mean, you guys know some people. So Marshall knows a lot of the people I know and more. So you guys know some people in common.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Like, we all know Jeff Wallach. You could ask him if
Oh
Jeff
yes,
Wallach
we all
microphone
know Jeff
story.
Wallach.
Because the Jeff Wallach's and microphone story is hilarious.
All I can now hear in my head is the WOG.
Fair enough.
He says, I've been doing wash all wrong. Well, as long as you're satisfied with your result, that's the main thing.
Apparently, Kathy, did you know that Marshall has had dinner with you twice?
Have you?
I'm not surprised.
I'm probably not surprised by that. I'll eat with anyone.
John, you can just post it in Discord and I'll post it if you want.
Who are we having dinner with, though?
Could be any of the old GW guys. He knows all of them.
I feel like I need to know. I'm curious now. Like, I'm sure I know you. Honestly,
I'm sure if we gave both names, he would become a parent, but I won't do that.
I would. Yeah. It's not everybody likes that.
Yep. We've had this. He and I have had this discussion before,
and I respect that 100%.
Yeah.
Throw a link up in the chat. John Ninja.
John Ninja.
John Ninja.
So we can all see.
I'm trying to figure out who Feral Punishment is. Then, if I know him, you can send it in a whisper in here. I don't know everyone's names. I mean, I know L. Marshall's name because that's the name he uses.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Oh,
L. Marshall says, yeah, Dave Taylor, Chris Bohr, some of the other paint judges. Yeah, okay.
Nope, that didn't work. Oh, hi, Bio.
Yeah.
Let's see. We'll actually just copy the link here. It'll be easier than trying to get the pictures in there. Oh, actually, no, I can do this. Easy peasy. Boom. Open original. Oh, nope, don't do that, John. Copy.
So I'm thinking I do and try to paint a small Jade Falcon on the model somewhere.
Hey.
Where, I don't know. Like, I definitely think there might be
the back of it.
Could get that
Right,
there.
That's the back.
The back's okay. And there's the front.
Warning,
Side's
warning.
okay.
Don't get too close. That
I
might
love the
fart
one
on you.
particularly in the bottom center of the rear. It's like, oh,
Oh, that's amazing. I love, as somebody who likes to paint eyeballs on all kinds of things, I totally respect that. That is awesome.
someone mentioned, I wish they had googly eyes. I'm like, no, they'd googly eyes. Every mech would have googly eyes. There'd be googly eyes everywhere. It would
Oh
be
my God,
distracting.
I have googly eyes. I can
If there's
put
googly eyes
googly
in the
eyes
video
on
game, well,
mine.
Ooh,
oh yeah,
John's camera's messed up.
I can make this
your camera
happen.
messed up.
Ah,
All the cameras got a little messed up when you did the camera switcheroo.
switch scenes. Let me fix.
I only have one thing for the media section, though, by the
Only
way.
one?
I
Yep.
also only have one thing. It's almost like I've been streaming every fucking day.
And I almost didn't even finish it. It was like last minute.
Of course, now your camera decides to playing around with me.
All right, camera, keep. Oh no, it's not camera. It's Skype.
Yeah, Skype.
Skype
Skype
is
needs to
just,
keep fucking around. You're gonna find out.
Type thing.
it's
So
fine. It's fine.
we can hear you. That's all that matters, really, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, I
No,
need a drink.
it's your smiling face too. Brings joy to the people.
Okay, so this is our media section. Um, Sorry, we got text coming in like crazy. Sorry. Media section where we talk about our media that we've done. I have a whopping 85,000.
Yeah, that sounds all right.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 that I can go through.
Well, that's good.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, Kathy and I have one each.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's just go ahead and go with one that I saw that I was going to get to last week, but I didn't get to. I'm going to talk about Mortal Kombat. Came out on. Yeah, I got to. Came out on HBO Max and in the theaters. I watched the original Mortal Kombat. Thought it was okay. Wasn't bad. I mean, what do you expect from a video game movie when all they're trying to do is just beat each other up? I actually fell asleep during this movie. I had to rewind because I fell asleep in this movie.
Huh.
This movie was boring as shit.
That's like the opposite of all the other people that I've talked to who saw it. But, I haven't watched it yet.
All the reviews I hear are way over here or way over here.
Yeah.
There's no, and it was okay. Most of them are like, this was great. This was terrible.
For a movie about combat, there was very little. It didn't have a very good Mortal Kombat. It's like they were trying too hard to have Mortal Kombat. And force everything. Oh, we got to get this little cliche thing in because that happened in the video game. So, oh yeah, you see it coming. It's like everything happens for a reason. I was bored out of my skull. I actually fell asleep watching it. I was definitely not happy with it. I give it higher than the meh rating because it wasn't meh. So it gets like a 3 to 3.5 space herpes for me. I did not care for it at all.
Oh, Marshall. Man. Bad mouth Godzilla vs. Kong. We love Godzilla vs. Kong in this house.
Kano is the only redeeming character in this. He's the only one that makes anything worth watching because his character is actually fun and entertaining. Everybody else was just boring as shit. Couldn't stand it one bit. I hated every minute of it. So, I don't know what to tell you. I couldn't stand it. I give it. It's not. I'd say 3.5 space herpes for it because it was really not fun at all. At all. I do not recommend it. Go watch the old original Mortal Kombat. You'll have more fun. Even with the shitty CGI, in it, I would go watch that instead.
The only thing I'll review is their updated techno theme, the updated Mortal Kombat techno theme that's been floating around YouTube. I give that thing 4.5 shots, 4.5 space therapies, because man, you take techno and you try to ultra techno it, ends up being some shit. It was so bad I heard it, listened to the whole thing, said, all right, delete that, get that out of here. Let me listen to the original soundtrack, because I have that.
No. Yeah, it was. I just there were actually. I was waiting because they had done everything from the original one, and like, oh, here's Scorpions, get over here. Here's this from everything, and you're just waiting for them to shout Mortal Kombat sometime within it, just the music, just to get, and never happened, and you're just like, that kind of is a bummer too.
Look, remembering seeing Mortal Kombat in the theaters, when it starts off yelling, Mortal Kombat! You're like, fuck yes, I am in for this movie.
Yeah, they didn't do that at all.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, it was bad. I do not recommend it. I think you would have better use of your time doing chores around the house than watching
Yikes.
this.
Yikes.
So I cannot recommend it at all. So sorry. Kathy, you want to go with yours?
Sure. I watched the most recent James Bond, Spectre, the final one so far, until they decide to release,
the next one.
The next one. So, wow, that was really long.
Is that the nice thing you say about it? Because that's actually fair. You're right.
I started watching it yesterday, and I finished it today. I was like, oh, it's time for me to play Shadowrun. I have to stop this so that I can, watch it tomorrow. And, oh, there were parts of it that were great. And there were other parts of it that just did not need to be there. It was like they felt like they had to explain something that we all already knew several times.
Yep.
Like, yeah, we get that C is this. We've known that from the beginning pretty much. We don't need it spelled out in, yeah. They spend a lot of time just reminding us about things we already knew. So they could have cut off 45 minutes of that movie, and it would have been good.
But you get to find out that Blofeld is...
Blofeld was behind it all the time. Spoiler.
Spoiler, yeah. and that he's James Brown's like adoptive brother or some shit. Like, whatever. Fuck off.
That was a weird, unnecessary thing.
That was a fine spy or pulpy spy movie trope. This is not a pulpy spy movie anymore. It hasn't been for a while.
Yeah. They really seemed like they were trying to get back to some elements of humor with this one, though.
Yeah,
there were some moments that were funny, but it wasn't the corny, cheesy, punny sort of thing.
Yeah.
I would love when the Daniel Craig era is over with this new movie that they eventually release. That the next one kind of maybe returns or tries to return to that sort of cheesy. I really do feel like that era is not past. They can do it. Well, if they're good, if the writers are good, they can do cheesy and punny,
I mean, the Marvel movies do it very well.
Right?
There's a lot of movies that actually do it well, not just those, but those are the standout ones where they get the humor in without making it a comedy or even in most cases, if it's cheesy, it's so appropriate. You're like, okay, I'll give you a pass on that. Good job.
Yeah.
So, what do you give it overall?
I give it 2 space herpes. I feel like it's definitely still better than whatever Gonzo just described that deserved a 3.5. It's better than that. But
Yeah, I'll agree. It
yeah,
was.
I'd say two space herpes for that one.
I'd probably go 2.5 because after watching Skyfall, I was like, oh, hell yeah, I need to see the next one in the theater because I saw it. And I saw it in the theater, I was like, should
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
one free cable maybe? Or free
Maybe, but
Prime?
I I like Daniel Craig. What can I say?
Fair. He's no Timothy Dalton. So next time you're going to watch the original Casino Royale with, was it David Niven? Is that right?
Yeah, has to be.
Hell
Awesome.
hydrate.
It has to be that one, and then I don't know after that. I'll have to find another series.
All right, everyone, here's your water.
Oh. Okay.
You might as well go in, Gonzo. I can go after you go again because, I mean.
Oh. I got stretch posture
Sandra
check.
has redeemed Hail Hydrate, so
Yep.
We already did that. You're
That's why I'm out of
behind.
water.
Oh,
Feral
there's a-
Punishment, redeemed posture check. I still have a spine, so I have posture. Checked it. Still there.
I'll say my next one. Let's go with the Nevers.
Mayor Dragon has just redeemed Transformers.
More
Yep.
than meets the eyes.
Go ahead.
So I watched the show The Nevers. There's only 3 episodes out right now. The Nevers is an HBO Max series set in like 1867 or something like that. The story is people have started getting superpowers, and they are getting these superpowers, and this other group of people are finding them, bringing them together. The best way to describe this show is League of Extraordinary Gentlemen with women instead of men, and X-Men together. Because there's like steampunky type thing going on with it. There's, all that type of, the clothing, the dress, everything of it. But these people are called the Touched. They get superpowers, and it's all random for each different person. And this group of people are finding these people and bringing them to their mansion where they all live together, aka like X-Men. I watched there's only 3 episodes. Episode 4 comes out tonight, I think. I think it's on right now. This show's pretty damn good. The action's really good. The characters are interesting. It does have a bit of raw sexual and nudity type stuff in it. Don't care. It doesn't bother me any bit. But it's actually really, really, really good. I really like it a lot. It's got the flair of the X-Men where, okay, these people are being treated like crap because they have superpowers, and there's this secret society that's trying to capture these people and use them and abuse them. The clothing, the art, the settings, the places where they're filming in London or whatever is really good. Really neat. Very far-fetched tech and science to the point of like steampunky. You could go kind of Penny Dreadful like. I would say that, but instead of like werewolf and vampires, it's one person can see short snippets of the future. One person can control electricity. One person has fire abilities. Stuff like that. So I really like it. I've watched all 3 episodes. Highly recommend it. It's been pretty solid. And HBO, they're just doing, they're off the chain with their TV series now. They're doing really good. I really like it a lot. So for me right now,
they're one of the ones that's sort of embraced the whole new format.
Oh yeah,
it's like them, Netflix and Amazon Prime are really into it. Everyone else is like trying to catch up for the most part.
Yeah. Captain Mizzy is right. It does have kind of a Sherlock Holmes type of vibe to it, also. I really like it so far. Zero space herpes from me. Can't wait to watch the new episode tonight.
Cool. Well, I'll be talking about a series as well. Bane and I just started watching, since we're done with the last one we watched, which is Falcon and Winter Soldier, or Captain America Winter Soldier, if you prefer. We started watching Star Trek Discovery Season 3. The buzz has sort of died down about Discovery here. I mean, I know there's no season coming out, but I didn't hear a lot of buzz after the first bit. But I liked the first 2 episodes very much so. Interested to see where they go. I thought the first episode in particular, there's some very good things laid out and points in there. It feels like maybe the first 2 episodes happened a bit quickly. Like, I think they were felt like they kind of wanted to do more than they realized we ain't got time to do all this extra. Let's just do this, make that the beginning, and then go from there. So I still maintain that Star Trek Discovery Season 2 is one of the best seasons of Star Trek ever. And very interested to keep going with this. Like all the characters, like what they're starting. Literally every time one of the characters comes on, you're like, I enjoy what this person is doing. The engineer, Reno, she's fucking hilarious. Giorgio is fucking hilarious in a whole different way. I enjoy the crap out of it. I look forward to finishing the season. Lower Decks is on our radar. It probably will be after this if we don't watch something in between. Loki, I think, will be out by the time we finish this, so probably Loki, then that. We're catching up, but that's because I had a really weird schedule for a while. But in any case, it's on our list. But I don't want to give it a full rating right now, but so far I would give it 0. I expect it to end in the 1.5-ish area. Maybe, I don't expect it to get to 2, but we will see if my expectations meet reality. Gonzo?
I watched something that came out. It came out on Netflix. A brand new series called Shadow and Bone. Shadow and Bone is based off a book series that came out. This one is another one that's kind of Victorian era, but more Russian than London type thing. It's based off a book. I don't know much about the book anyway, but it has people that are pretty much benders from Avatar. So they have people that control the wind, control fire. Someone can control the blood and stuff like that. It's not a bad series. I watched all 8 episodes or how many episodes it was. It's got a lot of interesting story building and everything. Supposedly there's this section of the world that is covered in pure blackness, and going into it to get there, you have to get from one side to the other, and you have to ride these ships that sail across the ground, and they're controlled. They're sailed across on skiffs and skis, and you can't have natural light, or the creatures that live in there will kill you. And to go around it would take too long, so people, go through it. And supposedly there's this person that has a superpower that can destroy the darkness, and that's how this goes. 2 of the main characters, one of them is a female character that is pretty much the lead, and then pretty much her sidekick, and his entire personality is around how much he loves her and how much he wants to protect her. I don't give a crap about the 2 main characters. They were not really that entertaining. I was not impressed with their storyline. I get it. They're very one-dimensional. They're very flat. I don't have any feelings for them. They're just there. Now, there's a group of other people. Yes, the crew from the bar was so much better. There's a group, this assassin, gunslinger, and I guess you can call the face. He runs the bar, and he wants to go capture this person so he can make a ton of money and, do all this other stuff. Those 3, I would watch them in everything. I would watch an entire series of them getting into capers and trying to make money and doing stuff, because they were multifaceted. The characters were interesting. The acting was good. Everything about it was great. I would watch The Crew more than anything. Is the series good? Yeah. Is it got a cool world? Yeah. Are the main characters interesting? Meh. But all of the side characters, they're really good. I really like them a lot. People have read the book. I've talked to them, and they said that the first book is really bad, and it's not really good at all. And so they're trying. Everybody's saying the next books get better, which I believe it's already been renewed for another season, which is good because I see good potential from it. Um, I don't know anything about the book, so I can't, comment. But I definitely want to see the next season as long as those three characters from the bar are still in it and still doing things because they were beyond belief great. Um, if I was going to give it a rating, I would say it would probably be like a 2, maybe 2.5. But it was still interesting to watch. Better than most stuff that are happening on TV right now. So it gets at least a thumbs up. Worthwhile watching. John?
Still done with the one thing I watched. Much like Kathy with the one thing she watched.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I played Valheim.
I played Mechwarrior Online.
All right.
Okay, so I guess I'll finish out. So let's see, what else did I watch? I did watch a new movie, and it just came out. And Kathy, you're going to want to watch this because you will love the shit out of it. It's called The Mitchells versus the Machines. It is a cartoon about a dysfunctional family that has to save the world against robots that are taking over. So the artwork is really good. It kind of reminds me of like a clay animation style artwork. There is a pug on there, Machi, and he's actually voiced by an actual pug named Doug the Pug, and actually is on there. And so it is actually a really fun show. It is definitely a little bit geared towards kids a bit and the modern kids because of all the, the tech stuff and the way things are happening and all this other stuff. But it's really good. Animation style is really fun. I really like it a lot. I think it's good quality. There's some weird things that go on. Like they'll be showing a scene and they'll like hand draw stuff in there just to make it look interesting. It's got a good timeless story. The daughter's going away to college, and not only is she going away to college, they don't understand her, or the father doesn't understand her. So there's that conflict going on there. They got a young son. He's all into dinosaurs. They go, and it cracks me up because there's a scene where they go, and he's like looking at all these dinosaurs, and he's like, I got to speak with the manager because these dinosaurs are not anatomically correct, and stuff. And it's just a really good fun show. It's actually a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. It's a little over 2 hours, but it's good quality fun entertainment. I laughed quite a few times on there. It's got some good animation on it. I highly recommend it. I would probably give it like 1.5 space herpes, if anything. Just because there's some of this stuff is just kind of But Doug Mochi is definitely the star of the show. The pug is actually hilarious as shit. It is definitely worth watching. Just for a good good movie. I guess there's actually some of my friends on my Facebook page, on my Facebook group, know the people that made it, and they're kind of trying to pimp it out and everything. But it was definitely worth watching more than anything else.
Sweet.
So, highly recommend it. That's actually all I have. Wow.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Okay, wait. I did watch more of Mighty Ducks, and this episode was...
We haven't heard about Babylon 5 in a while either.
I haven't had a chance to get on Babylon 5. I want to devote a little bit more time. I think I'm going to wait until after school's over so I can kind of binge it. which will
So you're not
be
watching Babylon 5 because you're paying more attention to it than some shit like Mighty Ducks, right?
correct. I actually
Okay.
want to devote more attention to it, and so I'll probably wait till after the school's over. I only have 4 weeks left in school, so I'm definitely, and I've got models to put together during that time, so it'll be a good time for me to watch Babylon 5 and everything. So I still haven't made it through episode 0, so no, I definitely cannot do nothing while I watch TV. I definitely have to do something while I'm watching TV. But definitely gonna watch Babylon 5 after school's over. I need to finish The Expanse also,
Me too.
and
I still have to watch the last season.
Me
yeah,
too.
I'm yeah.
But I think Banyan's already seen it, or since it's on Prime, we can watch it separately easier. That's why we're doing Discovery, because anything that's on the TV but not on our individual computers is easier.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean, I'll watch that. Um, I'm finishing up the last of Sabrina because I never finished it in December. So I've got to finish that out. I'm super excited for July because in July, the supposedly last movie to wrap up the entire Troll Hunter series
Oh,
um,
okay.
is coming out. Rise of the Titans. Supposedly, it's supposed to wrap up all the stories and give like an ending or like a new you know type thing. Um, so I'm really looking forward to that. I saw that they posted up in July that it's going to come out. I know I did set up a bunch of new series or shows um, to come out that I tried watching that are coming out on Netflix. I know Tenet dropped on HBO Max, and
Oh,
I
did
need to.
it?
Yeah, it's on HBO Max now. I'm gonna try to watch that. I've heard mixed reviews about it.
I'm
So
not a huge Christopher Nolan fan. Like, he's, like, no disrespect to his skill. I just don't necessarily like his stuff that much.
I know that it's kind of like back and forth on it. I'm definitely gonna give it a shot and watch it because it's supposed to be some kind of mind trippy stuff. So I'm waiting on that. Um, other than that,
I
that's
mean,
not
I'll
really.
try and watch something this week. We'll see. I might be streaming every night. We'll see what happens.
I'll try to
Maybe
do
I have
some
to
more.
do a Christoph Waltz double feature. He's the person who played the Blofeld in Spectre, but I like him, and he makes a really good bad guy. And I heard that he is in Django Unchained, and I have never seen that.
He is. He's not a
And
bad guy. But
and
I haven't seen it either.
but he's in it,
Yes.
and I haven't seen it, so I feel like I need to watch that and you know, find something else. I feel like he's been in a bunch of things over
Oh,
the
yeah,
last few
absolutely.
years.
I
So
was worried you were going to say you were going to watch the Green Hornet movie where he's the bad guy in it. You know,
Ugh.
the only movie I have started, stopped, and decided not to finish on a second watch because fuck that movie. Um, Alita Battle Angel, if you can get it somewhere. He's in that. And I fucking love that movie.
okay. Yeah, I wanted to see that.
He,
So
he, I mean, he
I'll
kills
have to
it. I
find
mean,
that.
Christoph Waltz, he kills it.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's actually a bunch of stuff starting to come out. I know there's a few series that are starting up next week, and in the next couple of weeks. I did try watching, what was it, something Europa, Tribes of Europa, and I couldn't get into it. It just wasn't very entertaining to me. Um, didn't care for it too much.
I was going to
Um,
watch Nobody, but I don't want to pay $20. I mean, that sounds cheap, but $20 is like 4 other movies almost renting. So
yeah.
not really for renting a movie for $20. So that means that we will not be seeing Black Widow when it comes out because I'm not going to go to the theater and I'm not going to pay that much money for it on Disney Plus. Sorry.
No, I'll
Yeah.
just wait till it comes out on
Yeah,
Disney normal.
it's not
Um,
worth it.
Like what I do with most movies.
Well, like if it was a cheaper price, you even that one, like that's a top tier Marvel movie. You could be like, oh, I'll pay $20 for it, but they like want $30 for it, and I'm like, now you're getting bad.
And like Nivik says, it will be free in 6 months.
Yeah. Plus, they just raised their subscription price $1, which I didn't mind paying at the time because they have
Yeah.
fucking content to back that shit up. I'm not going to pay for that kind of premium content. I don't care that much.
Yeah. And we got Loki coming up, in
Yeah.
July also. So I mean,
And the harsh reality is, if it's something like that where maybe my mom wants to see it, maybe not so much Black Widow, possibly, I would just buy it on DVD or Blu-ray anyways, because she's going to want to see it, and she doesn't have Disney Plus. She doesn't have good internet to download movies, so I have to get everything on DVD or Blu-ray, which I don't really mind. I love loaning out DVDs and stuff to people. One of my CSPs was interested in Battlestar Galactica, so he borrowed the first season and went through it like in a week, and he's like jonesing for the next one. I'm like, luckily I've got everything, so I'll bring in the next one next.
Yep.
It's great. I can't do that with a digital thing. I mean, I can share my digital stuff with certain people, but you get someone you work with, you don't want to necessarily share a password with, but you'll hand them a box set because, I mean,
Yeah.
if I didn't get it back because something happened, I'd be upset, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. So, yeah, MASH is good. I'd watch MASH again. I mean,
They play MASH on. We have MeTV here, which I think is syndicated now. I mean, I think it's national now. It used to just be a local Chicago channel, but now it's like a national channel. But anyways, they do vintage TV shows. They do the oldies, basically. And every night at 6, they have MASH, and every night at 6:30, they have MASH. And I've been watching MASH since I was a little kid.
mm-hmm.
And it is my favorite TV show of all time. If MASH is on, I will watch it.
Well, let's talk about the harsh reality of MASH. You watched it, and it was funny when you were watching it as a kid. As an adult, you watch it, and you get it, and it's funny and heartfelt and sometimes heartbreaking what they're doing.
Yeah. Oh, and also, I look at it now, and I go, wow, they were really assholes to Frank Burns. I mean, he was an asshole, but they were assholes to him. They bullied the shit out of that guy.
They did. I actually liked the other villain, the other
Charles Edison Winchester III.
I loved him. He was
fantastic.
He was a much deeper foil to that.
I was going to say he was multifaceted, and he grew throughout the series, whereas Frank Burns was just a caricature.
Yeah. He was just there. He was one note.
Yeah.
That wasn't necessarily bad. It was good for early, but there's some, like, I've watched a lot of clips of MASH here or there. It just shows up on my feed, interviews with the actors or just clips from it. There are some really, really good fucking clips from MASH. Like, there's stuff where you're just like, oh God, man,
there's
that's
so
really
much.
good.
There's so much. And every year, now they've started doing every year for, is it Veterans Day? I think they do the goodbye farewell one, their final episode, which is 2 hours, and so you will never see that when they're doing their half-hour episode. You'll never see that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Usually that I'm watching Band of Brothers, because if I get to that, it's time for Band of Brothers. But
Band of Brothers is fantastic.
Oh my God, so good.
Oh yeah, Band of Brothers is amazing.
Yeah, Nichols, Gonzo's printing stuff. You may hear my fan in the background. It's a little warm upstairs.
Sorry, I leaned back. I've got a bunch of 3D printers running, Nichols. Sorry, got to get him done. I'll lean.
Yeah, they're loud. They come through his mic. I mean, obviously, I have a standalone mic, so it picks up other stuff. So apologies.
For a TV show in the 1970s that was based on a movie
about a war that had been over for a bit at that point.
Yeah.
And a TV show lasted longer than the war. Well, I mean,
so much longer than like 5 times longer than the war.
Well, then the armed conflict. Technically, we're still at war with North Korea. We always have a long armistice.
Yeah.
We being technical, but hey. In any case, MASH is great. It is called the best TV show of all time. I'm not going to argue with that.
Yep. And that is our podcast for this evening, everybody.
Guys,
thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. Don't forget, on Monday, John will be doing his Mechwarrior Monday. Are you going to do a Striker Life or just a normal?
Normal. It'll be me and the Filthy Casuals of Quick Play Ninja John, Legionnaires, Banyan, whoever else shows up. Maybe some other special guests. We'll see who wants to drop by.
Ooh, I wouldn't mind dropping by. Get some.
Oh, we'll get you in there.
Gets there. And don't forget, Kathy will be doing Tuesday through Thursday painting. Are you gonna be working on your Mechwarrior stuff?
I probably. Oh, I have Mechwarrior and I have busts, and it's oil paint. So I will be going from one thing to another thing, as I can only do so much with oil paints, as we talked about earlier. So, yeah, Mechwarrior or BattleTech stuff and my busts is what I'll be working on.
I heard you for correcting him on that, Kathy. Sorry.
And Pulp Fiction on Friday. I think that's
Yep,
about
Pulp
it.
Fiction Friday, and since we finished that Conan book, gosh, what will be the next thing I read on Pulp Fiction Friday? Something from the early 1900s.
And then next Sunday morning will most likely be another Sunday morning Mechwarrior. And then you might see Striker Life, which is my new newbie friendly playthrough. You might see that Tuesday through Friday. Maybe not every day, just because who knows what might happen. But I plan on trying to stream just about every night with it.
Guys, we're going to go and send y'all off to Zambies. Zambies is painting up some models right now. We're going to send you off to her. Make sure when you go over there, make sure you get a like, hit that follow button, rate up with all the emotes, make her kind of happy, kind of scare her a bit. But
jump into your address bar and pull the back part off that says refer a raid. That way they're getting credit for you watching them, not from a raid, but you're actually watching them.
Correct. Because we want y'all to go and see them, and this is the easiest way for us to get there. So, guys, please take care of yourself. Watch after yourself. Stay healthy. If you see something, say something. For More Than Dice on Gonzo.
Masks. I'm John.
I'm Kathy.
Good night. Here we go.
I'm gonna get
Dance,
right.
dance, dance.
You're all lucky you can't see this.
Are you dancing? We're dancing.